Wells next to the sea is a wonderful town of around 2,000 permanent residents, but it probably doubles in size in the summer because of the holidaymakers. It used to be a sizable commercial seaport exporting East Anglian grain. Nelson apparently had relatives here and spent many months hanging around between commissions, probably sat on the quay watching the grain ships come and go and boring the socks off the locals with endless stories about what a great sailor he was, what dastardly swine the French were, and extolling the merits of Lady Hamilton's embonpoint. At one time, the channel to the harbour was deep enough for some really big sailing ships, but in 1859, the local toffs, called the Cokes, on the Holcombe estate, built the mile-long seawall. The aim was to turn thousands of acres of salt marsh into prime agricultural land, and in doing so really screwed up the natural tidal scour that had kept the channel deep enough for the big ships. You can still see the ghost of the old estuary from Google Earth. All that remains is the boating lake, called Abraham's Bosom, which was a common name for a secure anchorage. Ships would moor there waiting for the tide. The town was a working port of sorts right up until the 1970s. The grain warehouse is fairly recent, apparently around 1903. It's now been converted into apartments. The last room on the gantry is now a bedroom, making it a most wondrous place for a thoroughly memorable shag, I imagine. Now the port handles no commercial traffic at all, although Wells is host to a dozen or so wind farm support vessels which are moored in a newly built sand harbour near the lifeboat station. The town clings to the highland, so the gardens are tiny. The streets that come down to the quay are called yards. One is the High Street, with proper shops and 2 butchers. Lovely Bob in the harbour office allocated me a mooring up past Sluice Hole in Stonemill Creek, just a short low tide walk from the East Slip. If I coordinate my journeys from home to the boat to coincide with a low tide arrival, then I can walk to the boat. No need to risk my life in a dinghy, which is always the most dangerous part of any sailing adventure. So, bottom of the boat's not too bad. The rudder needs some attention. This is the worst side. But really, it's not that bad, is it? I think there's a fair bit of weed down there. I should get rid of that. Scrub. You could do with a bit of varnish. I'll do that too. I seldom use anti-foul on the slug nowadays. The price of a pot is around £50. And I put her aground so often that a quick run round with a brush only takes a few minutes. It saves bunging all that poison into the environment, and a bit of bending and stretching never did an old bloke any harm at all. One of the great things about a mooring is that the birds are so used to boats they ignore you. Sit in the cockpit and watch the life of the river unfold. I enjoy the common birds as much as the exotics.
These 2 gulls are declaring their love for each other.
To see the way a pair of gulls bond through their perfectly matched dances, honed over their 10, 15 or even 25-year partnerships.
They mimic each other's behaviour, look at that. So he's saying, do what I do, do what I do. And she's signalling her interest and love by copying his every move.
I also enjoy the civil rivalry between the oyster catchers and the other birds. But then at times the oyster catchers become utterly overwhelmed with lust and they prance up and down making their crazy, crazy noises. Occasionally the odd exotic will come past. An egret working the shore, or even a curlew with its insane, delicate bill designed to probe the wormholes. And there's human traffic too, not just us sailors. At most low tides we'll bring a bait digger or two, sometimes digging for themselves, sometimes after lugworms that can be sold to angling shops.
Right, that's a nice lugworm.
It's not a pretty thing, is it?
Not a pretty thing. No, it's got sort of little floats on the side, but it digs its way through.
Oh, does it? Oh, it's got ridges along its back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that kind of they stick out, so it pushes forwards and
through. Yeah.
Wow. So and at this time of tide, how far down are they on average? 6 inches down?
Yes, about a foot. See,
a foot down.
The tail's going to come off. Look.
So that's no good.
That'll be all right. As I keep it away from.
So they're designed to lose their tail, are they?
Yeah. All you got to do is hold them wrong, and the tail come off. And they go in here where the cast comes out.
The cast comes out, so a cast is going in every place.
Yeah, they go in, they go along,
and
they breathe through that one.
And you can't catch. What are you trying to catch with them?
Anything.
Flats. Everything likes that, do they?
Everything like
that. So all the fish like this.
Yeah.
So this is the main source of food, is it?
It's the easiest one.
So what else do you dig up when you dig in here? Nothing else.
You can get some ragworm, some silver.
They're like silver bits, like centipedes, or like that.
Yeah. But they're usually very small.
Do you never find any crabs?
No.
Where do the crabs go then?
Usually in the mud banks.
Oh, do they? So you could go along there and dig them out?
Oh, I've never done it, but you could do, possibly. Yeah.
Oh. And they're out here feeding all across here, looking for these guys too close to the surface, presumably, are they?
I don't know what crabs feed on, actually.
Anything?
Anything, I would have thought.
So the wading birds are after these too?
Yeah, there's all sorts down here, yeah.
So there are all sorts of other sorts of worms, are there? It's only these ones you're after?
That's the ones I'm after.
So you ignore loads?
Not really, no. You don't get many silver.
Go on and dig, I want to see you dig, man.
That's full of water now.
Is it? That makes it harder.
You got to keep on the move. It fills up.
Oh, I did try digging my my boat level one place, and it was bloody hard work. Here you go. And there's another one there, isn't there?
Another one here, yeah. You mustn't pull them. Do you pull them in half?
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
And then they won't keep in your bucket.
No.
So how long will they keep in the bucket?
2 or 3 days.
Do you keep them in the fridge?
Usually, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll clean them when I get back.
Is your wife happy about that?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know you keep them in the fridge. Of course she does. Jesus. You think your wife doesn't know your own fridge? Don't be stupid.
Yeah,
she knows you do. So you keep them in a Tupperware box?
Yeah.
With holes in the top?
Yeah.
And she never once thought, what are they? What's that? Oh, man. Gee, you naive bastard.
No, I clean them I clean them before I go. Then when I get back, I'll clean them again and put them in newspaper. I sort of stop them getting.
There was also this bloke who made a living gathering mussels from anchor chains and pontoons.
Yeah, the old tide soon come in. I think it's high water about 2 o'clock today, ain't it?
Yeah. Have you got a boat?
No, I used to have a boat.
Did you what?
Just a little pleasure, just quite, for pleasure, for
Motorboat,
mackerel and stuff.
sailing boat, motorboat.
Yeah.
You look like a motorboat man.
No. No, I used to go wilking years ago, yeah, and crab fishing. But got to be a landlubber now.
Did you ever get frightened?
Huh?
Did you ever get frightened?
Only when we came over the bar once.
Yeah.
When we was wilking, and we had a big wave come up and caved the windows in on the wilk boat, so we turned around and came back in.
Yeah. Because there's 2 blokes were killed, weren't there, about 13 years ago, something, weren't there? 2 blokes were drowned.
Yeah. One of them was a good friend of mine who I was at school with.
Boat builder bloke.
Yeah, William Cracknell.
Yeah, I've spoken to his dad.
Yeah.
That must have been a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, because I was on the lifeboat at the time.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
So why aren't you now?
Because the job, in the arcade, so you can't
do
give
it.
up. No.
So let me ask you, why do people do it?
Why?
Lifeboats. Why do the blokes do it?
The pleasure you get out of saving somebody.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you're after. The
Yeah.
buzz of saving somebody.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a team game too, and blokes like team games, don't they?
Everybody worked together.
Yeah.
Everybody trained well.
Yeah. I mean, if a group of blokes get frightened together, that's a real bonding experience, isn't it?
But if you got a good coxswain on the boat, you're never frightened.
They do have good gear in this country, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, without a doubt. They ain't like our old boys were years ago.
No,
on these
they're going out with an open boat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we did try it down here. They brought one of the old open lifeboats down for the commemoration of those lifeboat crew who got drowned off there.
Yeah.
And
When was that?
I honestly can't remember.
It was rowing boat days.
Yeah.
Crew got drowned.
And these oars, they must have been that round, and they must have weighed over a half a hundredweight each.
But blokes knew how to row, you'd also want a heavy oar, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd want a heavy oar.
But there was, 16 of us on the boat, and the coxswain, and that was a day like this, with a little bit of wind,
Yeah.
and absolutely knackering.
Yeah, but you're unfit.
Yeah.
Compared to what they were.
What they were,
because they would have been rowing their fishing boats and stuff all the time, wouldn't they?
Hands were like malt shovels.
Yeah. Different blokes.
Take
But
my
different pressures on us now, aren't there?
Yeah.
So would you ever do what I'm doing?
Would I do?
Ever do what I'm doing?
What, sailing?
Sailing around the UK?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Never?
No, I've tried. A friend of mine, he had a little sailing boat, and we was sailing around all these creeks and that.
It's good, isn't it?
To be honest with you, I've never been so bored.
Oh, have you not? Oh man, that's terrible. Look at these birds. Look at these birds. You guys, you don't even notice your birds, do you?
Yeah, brink geese. In the top of the flock there's a big bunch of widgeon. Look, now turning white. They're going round that way.
Do you shoot them?
Yeah.
You do shoot them, do you? Do you bastard?
Well, that's all part of being brought up in Norfolk.
I could no more squeeze a trigger on one of these birds.
Well, that's a quarry.
Yeah.
They'll take tail and...
Okay, so this is the way the locals here go fishing.
Up a little bit because
He's kind of half buried himself, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh! There you go, look. I'll catch him now.
Will you catch him or not?
Yeah. See, look, he's deaning himself in the sand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See?
Yeah, he's...
There you go.
Oh, that's great. This will get loads of hits, won't it? How often can you do that?
Summertime I come up here, with a spike.
Yeah.
And you see them laying you just see their eyes.
When you have to get your eye in and have the light just in the right angle, presumably.
if you're casting a shadow onto them, they'll dart off before you get to them. But if you've got the shadow, you know.
And how big will they grow?
You can come up to 2 pounds, that big. But really big flounders. Yeah.
And are they always over on the same side? Do you ever get a flounder that's the opposite side over?
I've had fish what have been this colour both sides, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Let him go then, go on then.
Right. Come on, there you go. There you go.
They can dig in really fast,
Yeah.
can't they?
Yeah, they soon bury up.
Wow, that's great. We spoke often but never swapped monikers, and occasionally noisier people came past. Ignorant buggers. At low tide I also walk the creeks, seeking out channels to sail when the tide comes back. As you can see, it is pretty snaky and labyrinthine. And I reckon, see that bit down there, although there's lots of space over there, the quickest way is down here. So that's one of the ways back, a little shortcut, which would be great. But you can see that right now, this is barely welly full. But I'm recording a track, so I'll be able to find it. Loads of birds up here. I'm disturbing them at the moment. They're moving away from me, but once I'm in the boat, they won't move anymore. And there was something else to do. The name, Wells Next the Sea. It comes from the beautiful clear chalk-filtered water that emerges from the springs, some bubbling up below the high tide line. I'm told you can drink it. Well, there's only one way to find out. That's almost fresh. It's brackish. Wow. Definitely not salt water. So, and the theory is that this stuff comes from Scandinavia. I have to say that the tap water in Wales is very good, but I can't believe it comes from Scandinavia. Sadly, as you can see, the boat is not level. This sand is funny stuff. When it's wet, it's very soft and almost as soft as mud. But as it dries, it goes hard. And which means that if the boat starts to lean as the tide goes out, it goes into soft sand and it goes down on one side. Inevitably, that's the side I'm sleeping on, which is kind of a good thing. It means that the boat tips over to that side, but it doesn't mean that everything falls on top of you. And the boat generally is a difficult place to live when it's not upright. Everything slips and slides all over the place. I mean, this is how not upright it is. The boat is pretty tipped over. I am enjoying Wales. It's a very nice place. It is a schlep to get up here. 3 hours to get up here is a long old schlep, but it's alright. But with that wonderful inevitability, the tide eventually returns. The inert lump of the hull lifts and comes alive as the water chuckles between the keels. What a perfect existence.